Now, the hopes for one of the new districts in the nation, which is the Guan district, have been sent very high. As way back in August, they were hoping to inaugurate it. There have been a lot of speculations about how this district is going to be different from the rest, with a lot of people's inputs into making it a great one. Now, they were ready to inaugurate this Guan district. That was the traditional authorities of the OT region in collaboration with the government. And according to them, the ceremony is going to be very, 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 very blissful. It's going to be nice. It's going to be great. And many are hopeful to see what's going to come out of this particular district. Now, for those of you who don't know, this new district, which is this Guan district, it has 13 electoral areas. 13. And it will be one of the districts in the country that will have an administrative capital. You know, it's actually the I think the 261st district. Yeah, if I'm right, yeah, the 261st district. It's just like the Likpe Mate, you know. It's gonna have the Likpe Mate as the administrative capital of this particular district, and there are hopes that with all that input where these different people are coming together to bring it on board, there's going to be a very high acceleration of economic growth in this area, and development is hopeful to span quickly there. Now, the Minister of Local Government, that's Dambochi, and he's also the Minister of local government and the decentralization and rural development. He made this disclosure about how the Guan district was one of the promising districts in the country. He addressed some of these traditional authorities and people of the Guan district, and according to what we heard, there's going to be a tour in the Volta region and the OT regions, to see how things are going on with their respective districts, and where things are seen to be down, there'll be works made to make it better. But with some of that which they've already seen, especially in this Guan district, there seems to be a lot of good that will come the way of this district. So we've also heard there's been series of meetings actually between the two, the regional coordinating councils, the Volta regions and also the OT regions. These meetings were aimed at, making a stronger bond, and also decentralizing the local governance act. Just finding a way to make things more simple, not putting too much concentration on one area and making things look too rigid. So these things have been going on. When you look at how they've been meeting some municipal assemblies, you can tell that there's really a lot of works to be done, and there's a lot to change in the nation and in the district too. Now, the Minister of Local Government, Mr. Damboche, announced also that the ceremony that was going to be held was going to make the district very operational. He pointed out that there are some things that could be easily done to empower the youth and some of those who have been looking up to what was going to happen in this district. He also said there was the need for many people to speak to the traditional authorities and see how ready they are to help. They wanted this peaceful communication to go on between them, because sometimes when you go about with these types of activities and you forget to include these ones who have been in the in the district and in the town for a while, and who have known how things have moved from a particular section to the other, you would be creating some form of disagreement and confluence if you don't include them. So these traditional authorities are very, very necessary to be spoken to. And also, there are things that, how tradition is. There are things that have to be done before some of these inaugurations go on. sometimes there's some we wouldn't say rituals, but there's a certain culture that has to be ensured. Sometimes maybe there has to be a peace or a quiet day held, a day when there will be no noise making. There are just certain things that every district has on its own with relation to their tradition. So it's better to include these traditional authorities to know the way forward, so that you just don't go and do anything without putting the basic stuff for it. You know how we are in Africa, we don't play with tradition, and whatever it is, whether it's pouring of libation or the like, every district and every town has their own beliefs. So sometimes these things have to take take place before there's just a certain order with which these things are operated on. The Guan district is going to have its own share of development. Their projects are going to be different, and they are promising that there are going to be so many benefits. And according to what we heard, even the president has endorsed some of these things and already, and is just waiting for them to get things started, so he plays his part on this project. Now the power, to do a lot of things does not only stem from one person. You can get some from the president, you can get some from these places, you can get some from the traditional authorities, you can get some from the youth, you can get some from the market women. All of these people come together to make the constituencies a great one, and you will notice that they find ways to preserve the ethical modes and all these goodness of the electoral commission in relation to their district. So they don't play with these chances, and they do their best also to make this communities, these districts, very attractive, so that those who are from foreign countries, when they come, would be interested in investing in one way or the other in certain things. You know how some of these tourist sites bring a lot of foreign exchange into the country. So with the hopes of improving upon some of these things that are good for tourists to look at, they hope also to use that as a means to accelerate growth and development in the area. I mean, like for example, if let's say the Elmina Castle was in their district, they are planning on working on it. Maybe areas where the building may be lagging, they'll see to it, they'll do any small repairs, just so when a foreigner comes in, they'll know that this district has something beautiful to offer. They'll not just see something that looks dead and then pass by, but they'll appreciate it, do their own research, and if there's any way they can contribute or do anything about being a part of this whole thing, then they will do it. Some foreigners, they come in, they'll take pictures, some they would want some artifacts, depending on who it is and what their interests are. So yeah, that is it. There are some foreigners who even just come to the country to purchase these things that are made with clay, these art things. There are some that are made with wood. There are some people who know how to make them very well with some funny images. You sometimes see a woman with a baby, has been molded with clay. Those type of things, they attract a lot of foreigners. So they are hoping that with all these things, they are going to use it also to create jobs and also to eradicate poverty. And in this way, they will bring wealth not only into the district but to the nation as a whole. They've also spoken about finding a way to tackle some diseases that have been threatening other districts. Though it's not their district, they plan on doing it in such a way that when their district is foolproof, it's very disease proof and the rest, then they could even extend an arm to other districts. Though it is not their district, they are willing to help, because at the end of the day, we are all Ghanaians, and there has to be that help. So yeah. Now also, the Oti Regional Minister, Mr. Joshua Makubu, he made it aware that some Guans who were, who could now focus on going ahead in life, because development was going to be processed and allowed to move on. Now, there are some people who were wondering about the resources, how they were like. Are they okay? Are they enough? Are they going to be trouble? Are they going to be, in such a way that many will not be sure if it will be sufficient for the rest? So with these questions about the resources, and we get why they are finding out these questions, because sometimes when these authorities are not able to put a check on such resources, the wrong people seem to benefit more than the rest. Like for example, if the resource is supposed to go to every individual in such a way that it will be shared equally, you realize that some people would chance upon this, and instead they'll be taking the greater part and then forcing the rest who even need it more to be fighting over little, so the regional minister also indicated that those types of things will be seen to, and there will be checks to ensure that the resources are for the district and not for certain individuals who have been given the privilege of maybe watching them or being around them. So it is all going to help, maintain peace in the district. Sometimes what happens is because people feel unfair about such treatments, they get divided quickly, and unity is never prevalent in such places. But the regional minister was hoping that by this and all other methods that they have in mind, there will be harmony, there will be cohesion, and also stability, during this time where the district is going to be inaugurated, so future days. Now, also, there were some people who also were involved in, representing this process. Some were Mr. Andrew Sofori, who's the Hohoi Municipal Chief Executive. Yeah. He even exclaimed that after the 2018 referendum, the expectation was, that mainly this inauguration and creation of districts for the area was going to be one big thing. So he was also part of this, inclusion, where people are, bringing their ideas and letting the rest know that things are okay, things will be moving, everything is on board, and the like. So yeah, he is part of those who are involved in all these processes. And not only that, we have the paramount chief of Likpe traditional area, that's Nanasoglu Allo the fourth. Nanasoglu Allo the fourth. Yeah, he's the paramount chief of the Likpe traditional area, and he's actually popular in those areas. And some people who are even outside the area know him very well. Yeah. He noted that these traditional authorities, as well as him and the people around him, were actually ready for the district to be inaugurated and for plans to start moving, so that they were going to be, functional in this district. And we're glad, because he was one of those who have this zeal, this passion for doing things just to make sure things are on the right path in the nation, and not only in his traditional area, but also he looks at the nation, at large. Now, they are part of those who, have been in this traditional setting for a while now. So when you know that these paramount chiefs and all of these traditional heads come together, you should know that something big is going to go on. There's also this Dr. Obed Asamoah. He's an opinion leader, and he's from the Guan district. He was very grateful, to Nanasoglu Alo the fourth, the paramount chief of Likpe, and also some of the traditional authorities and the people who were ready. He was grateful to them, that their roles that they had already played, and which they continue to plan to, play in the future, was going to move the district very, very, very forward, move them very, very far ahead. For his aim was also for the area to reach a current state, and he called for action, towards the works of this district. And also he was very passionate about creation of constituencies, to do this disenfranchisement of future elections and all that, because many people have had problems with too much concentration of some constituencies, especially when it comes to election times in these periods. So that is it. We just hope the best will be done, and we also hope that the Guan district will have a very peaceful and a good cause in the nation. For those of you who are in the Guan district, if you please, you could leave your comments. Maybe you could bring suggestions for what the traditional leaders could do to make your districts better. and anyone else could also add their input so that the Guan district would be a better place. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.